So this is the insignia or medallion of Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, which was one of the first video games I ever played. Now, the reason why it's actually so important to me is because my brother gave me this in the necklace for my 18th birthday, right before I moved out of my house. And basically what he was telling me was this character represents strength, valor, and is a guardian of a planet. So the reason it's so important to me is because it showed that my brother believed that I showed and represented all these attributes. So I keep this with me because it always reminds me who I want to be, who I am, and who I'm going towards. Thank you.
Thanks very much. All right, now you can start.
Can I get a quick guess? Does anyone know what this is?
It's a change.
Like a belt? It's a choke collar.
Chainwell dog collar.
Yes, this actually is the collar to a dog that I love dearly, and it was a pretty big dog actually, as you can tell. He was like half Rottweiler, I want to say, half Ridgeback or something. So, and just real quick on why it means something to me is because the day I lost this dog, I went to school. I didn't say bye to him that day, and I ended up losing him. And then every time I see this, I know like it really reminds me of him because I never got to say bye to him, I guess, in a way. But that's how it draws emotion to me. He was kind of a mean dog, but to the family, he was really nice. Like I said, he was a big dog, and he wouldn't like anyone coming to our house. Actually, the 6 people that lived in the house, he was so cool with them. A very nice, shy, timid dog, but then like with any stranger, his hairs all along his back would stand up, and he would just kind of. People were scared of him. He was a very aggressive-looking dog, but he was a great dog, and I kept this because I've had a lot of other little tiny dogs. Not really like them as much as I like this big one, but he meant a lot to me. His name was Ricky, so shout out to Ricky. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so mine is this lip gloss, which is like seems kind of trivial and stupid, but it's I feel like I like just in general like it's more recent like in my life. I feel like I've gone through like a lot of changes, and I think every year since like in adulthood, like the past like 3 years, there's like. Sorry, I'm like really good at talking in front of people, and this isn't even very deep, but I'm like getting weird. I don't know why. Okay. It's just like a reminder, I think, for me. Like I always have it around, and like it makes me happy just because like it reminds me of like a lot of the new like friendships and like connections that I like made recently, and like every person I've met like since like I've become an adult and kind of like I want to say like the journey of like learning myself. I feel like every person I meet like makes a difference or like teaches me something new about myself. And I think that this summer specifically, I've like made a lot of like connections with people that have really like pointed out things in me that I didn't know about myself. And it's just like kind of a cool thing to remember that like we're always like changing and learning. And it just reminds me of them. So
Thank you.
So I wanted to bring in these, I mean, it may seem also very trivial, these just work gloves that were in my car, but I realized that like, actually, so like about this time last year, one of my best friends in high school passed. He was 18 and it was really tragic, but I realized that I bought these gloves with him. And it's hard, like I use them a lot, and like I'm glad I use him because I think about him a lot, and he's a really big part of my life, and I'll miss him a ton. But yeah, and I think it's made him really stupid, but he's living on in these gloves. He's my boy. But yeah, so I use him on like film sets and stuff. I know he's a really big film person, and he would appreciate me making good use out of him.
Thank you.
Well, I forgot mine, but I have a picture of it, and it's the first initial of my name. I know you guys are probably thinking that why? Well, it's not just the initial of my name. This initial also happens to have something very special to me on the back, and it has a very special meaning to me. 3 years ago, I was 2 years graduated out of high school. It was just 2 weeks, and I got a call. My grandfather passed away. This necklace is engraved with "Love, Papa," and ever since he passed, I will always think of him on it, and I carry him around with me. That man was so important to me. I lost him just 2 weeks after I graduated. I didn't get to say goodbye to him, which I wish I did, and I always wished that I could tell him about college and how, but to sum it up, this necklace is the way I can feel him, I feel like, and it makes me remember him and it makes me comforted, but I still wish the real thing was around.
So this is a map. I'm not gonna open the map because I'll just start off with I love my friends, and I have this core group of friends that I've had since like the 7th grade. And back in the 7th grade, this isn't even my map actually. We were at my friend's house, so just like a late night, and then he had this map up on his wall, and then for some reason we all decided to start writing about how we were gonna travel across the world and what we were going to do at certain locations, and we'd like circle the location, write what we're going to do. And the reason I'm not going to open it is because some of them are kind of 7th grade ridiculous. Like they were just stupid, so they were dumb, so I don't want to show it. But I don't know, it's kind of like one of the first like tangible things that kind of represent the friendship that I have with those core friends that I still have now, and I've kept it ever since 7th grade. So, and I love my friends more, like not more than my family. I treat them almost like better than I do my own family, in the sense that I spend most of my time with them. Not saying that my family sucks or anything, but like I love them. It's just I love my friends so much. It's just that like, I don't know, they're like more than family to me. So this is kind of just one of the first things that I've had that kind of reminds me of them, even though I see them all the time. It's a joking thing. Like if I brought it, like. The only one time we opened it was at graduation, at high school graduation. So like since 7th grade, since we created it, I pocketed it, pretty much stole it, and then just kept it in my memory box for an amount of time, and opened it at graduation. And then it was just a good experience looking through it again and seeing how ridiculous 7th graders can say on a map. But yeah, that's mine.
Thank you. Are you ready, Erica?
So this is a special object to me. It was a while back when I went to Germany. I went there for 3 weeks as foreign exchange to study abroad, and it was like so exciting, and it was the first time I'd ever been to another country. And there's many parts to this object why it's very special. So first off, I bought this dictionary especially when I went to Germany because I was planning to be fluent by the time I got there, because I had already studied German like since I was a kid, so I had a lot of it under my belt, but I didn't have the colloquial German down. I didn't know any of the informal type of German, so it wasn't until I got there that I was able to actually learn it, and I told them I will only speak in German, only speak to me in German, and if I ever needed to know what to say, I would look in the dictionary, which actually had some funny stories because sometimes when you direct translate, it doesn't always work out so well. There was one word I had looked in the dictionary and it said peinlich, and peinlich means embarrassing. So if you say ich bin peinlich, that means I am embarrassing, which I said, but I meant to say das ist mir peinlich, which means that is embarrassing to me. So they corrected me when I was there, and they're like, no, it's not ich bin peinlich, because like I said it really loud, and I said ich bin peinlich, and everyone started laughing, and they're like, and I was like, what's so fun? And they're like, you said I am embarrassing. So that was like a funny story. And then another not so funny story was it was actually the first time when I went to Germany where I was bullied. I had never been bullied before, but the Americans that I went to Germany with, I guess somehow we got in this really bad dynamic where everything I said was taken out of context. And before I knew it, like the students in the group, a lot of them were in the popular crowd, I guess, at my school. So what happened was when I would say something, they would twist it out of context, and then they would make fun of me behind my back, and then people would befriend me and pretend that they were trustworthy, but then they would like tell other people in the group what I said, and then it got to the end time of the trip, and then I felt ostracized, and I was like alone, and even my best friend that was on the trip, she didn't really want to hang out with me that much because everyone would make fun of her if she hung out with me. So it was actually a really humbling experience, like realizing what it's like to be treated like you're less than a person, and then to make people like they twist things out of context and say you're stupid, and it just made me feel like really low and insecure. And I remember many nights I cried myself to sleep because I was just like, I'm like in a country and I don't even like the people that are with me don't even like me, and I feel alone. And like I think the biggest like savior during that time was when I was back with the Germans, was they were really nice to me. So I felt a lot of like a second family there. Like even my host family, they were so nice. They would take me everywhere. They got me this little goodie bag of like magazines and like German candy, and it was like really, really nice. And I think what's so special about this is whenever I smell it, like it just brings me back to that time when I was in Germany and how I had many firsts. And I'll never forget that time, how it shaped me, and it made me humble, and also I think it put in me a fight for the underdog. Like anyone that's being bullied, you know, like it gets me so angry when I see people bully others because I know what it feels like to be bullied. So it's, you know, I like, you know, if someone is bullied, like I want to be their advocate and I want to be there for them because I know how it feels like to be alone. So.
Thank you.
Mine, I guess technically have two, but they kind of go hand in hand. Basically all my life I've dealt with health stuff. I'm okay, you know, for the most part, but I was basically born with a condition that caused growths and just inconveniences to a bunch of my different organs. And my senior year, about 5 years ago, I actually had a kidney bleed. And so I was hospitalized and I had to get a part of it removed anyway. And my mom, upon a suggestion from one of the doctors, said because I have lived with this condition, she should put my name in for Make-A-Wish. And so she did, and you know, amazingly, we heard back. And so part of it, what ended up happening was I was able to go to Jared, and they funded everything, and they said you could pick out a piece of jewelry, and there was two that I just couldn't decide on, and they said you could keep both. But I guess it's just a reminder for me that like that was such a, I guess, a low point, but it was also very a trying, very just humbling point, and just kind of a reminder of how far I've come and that I am stronger than I give myself credit for. So yeah.
So I have a box. I don't have like one specific thing, but I have a box at my house where I put everything that like means a lot to me. So there's this book I have. When I was about 8 years old, I just really wanted this book. It's like an Egyptology book. I don't know why I wanted it so bad because I'm not into Egypt all that much. But there's this book, and I begged my mom for it the time we went into the bookstore, and I was like begging her, and so she was like, oh, maybe for your birthday, which was like 6 months away. But I didn't know this, but she bought the book right then, and 6 months later I found out she actually got it for my birthday. And she made me open all my presents. She's like, oh, did you get everything you wanted? And I was like, yeah. And then then she was like, oh, we have one more we found. You know, they do the whole, I found it in the closet. And so she pulled it out, and I was like, yes, you know, as I was freaking out and everything. But I keep that book in the box in my closet. And so every time we go to movies and stuff, I always like to collect the tickets. And I put the tickets inside the book. And so I actually have, for my 9th birthday, we have tickets from a magic show we went to in Las Vegas. And I still have those in there. And so, but I have a bunch of stuff. I have stuff from my brother. My brother is only like a year younger than me, so we're like really close. He got some like bracelets and stuff engraved for me and stuff. So I keep everything in that box. Like I don't let anybody touch it. Like if anyone goes to ask me, I have to pull it out. Like no one touches that box. But so yeah, it's just all my special stuff in my special box.